Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another Q&A leading up to the finale for Fear the Walking Dead Season 2. In this one, we're going to start with me giving my thoughts on whether or not I think we could see a type of mirror is Chris from Fear the Walking Dead, our Season 2 Shane. Alright, and spoiler warning if you're not caught up for Fear the Walking Dead. So I thought this was a good one as we've been doing the death predictions leading up to the finale now, and as usual each year. And this one is tricky. We do know that the actor who plays Chris is going to be in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He's playing Ghost Rider's brother. So we do know that, but also if you look at Season 2 with Chris, I mean, he has gone from the end of Season 1 with losing his mother to pretty much becoming a bad guy. I mean, he's not an antagonist right now with regards to the rest of our group. He's struggled with his father. He's had a little bit of a wrestling match with him. Had guns pointed at his father and at their friend. Brandon, of course, shoots James, and you've got Chris, who's there with his dad as well too. And he has taken his friend's side over his father, which is pretty messed up. So yeah, I mean, this one is like, it's a good question, right? Because sometimes Fear the Walking Dead does mirror The Walking Dead with certain things that they do. I really feel like Celia has a lot of kind of mirror elements to Herschel, and kind of has a lot of things that reminded me of the farm and of the barn with the zombies inside, and they kind of sort of had a nod to that in Fear, which wasn't overpowering and wasn't didn't take up too much of the season. So I liked it actually, as long as it doesn't become like exactly the same or a complete rip-off and they just do everything exactly the same. But with this one sounds like you can make a good case for this, that we could possibly see Travis be put in a situation where he has to choose his values and the others around him, or his son. And if his son does something that's wrong, as he's banging on the window and yelling his name, or as he's saying "God damn you, Chris," as Chris is leaving. This is a good question. Would Travis be able to put Chris down? And if he had to, could it be some kind of parallel, similarity mirror from the original Walking Dead in Season 2, where you have Rick put Shane down, you have the 18 miles out fight and this kind of stuff. We've kind of seen that sort of in Fear already, too. If you think about our last episode, you have Travis and you have Chris, and they're kind of going at it, and they're wrestling and stuff, and you've got the other stuff going on. So I would say, obviously, it's not exactly like 18 miles out. You don't have the zombies, and it's just Rick and Shane in that situation. But him and Chris have a difference of seeing things, and they do. Their guns involved, and they do get into at least a little bit of a wrestling match, so to speak, with lives on the line, with guns pointed everywhere and everything. So man, I like this one. I think this is a really good theory, and some people did say, well, with Alicia, the thing is, the actress who was on the 300, now she's in Fear, of course, Alicia Debnam Carey. They even named the character the same name as the actress. With her, a lot of people think, well, would they really, would she leave that show to be in Fear just to be killed off? Doesn't seem to make sense, this kind of thing. So, it's kind of tricky, but, I could definitely see Chris being killed off this season now that we know he hasn't faded into the background. I personally kind of wanted to see them use Chris to have him fade and then maybe come back in the future as a pretty badass villain. That said, though, if they want to grab viewers right away, it wouldn't be a bad idea to have some pretty big major character deaths near the beginning of the series, because that's what The Walking Dead did too. You had Shane killed off, you had Lori killed off, spoiler warning, right? You had these major character deaths. Even Merle was like Season 3. It's another big death, right, too? So these major character deaths throughout it, and then you had new characters coming in as we go through. So it would be interesting to see, and would like to see if Travis had to put Chris down, maybe to save Alicia or somebody else, Madison, or something. I don't know, man. It would be pretty tricky, but that'd be cool. Also, some other people brought up, we've got one from Diamond Dunicorn, 1983. And here she says, hey, Trev, Q&A question for Fear the Walking Dead. Do you think that AMC might try and pull a Kylo Ren thing with Travis and Chris? So he thinks it's going to go the other way. Or she. Say Chris is threatening Madison and or Alicia, and Travis tries he tries to prevent it. But Chris just cold-bloodedly kills him. Then Alicia or Madison will have to deal with Chris. That could be interesting. So a lot of people think this too. That I've seen quite a few Kylo Ren comparisons from Star Wars. That maybe we could see Chris kill Travis. So in the finale, and I like that idea too. I think either way, as long as they do something, as long as they have one big character death, either way, and they do it well, just like the death with Liza at the end of season 1, that it could be good and it could work. I personally would like to see, I guess I'd like to see either Alicia be killed off, or next choice would be Travis kill Chris. My least favorite would be if Chris kills Travis, because I like Travis a lot. So, yeah, so because Chris could be a good villain in the future too, if he survives long enough to become one. But granted, maybe you could have Chris be killed off and have Brandon come back later or something as a bigger villain or something. So we'll see, but there will be blood, right? I think one way or another. So we'll continue with the Q&A questions. So I think that was a great one. But write your comments below, guys. Who are you feeling right now? Who do you think is most likely? And I'll put a poll. Do you think it's going to be Chris? Do you think maybe Alicia? Or do you think maybe Travis or somebody else? And we'll kind of go over it. Be fun. This weekend should be great, by the way. I'm really excited for the double finale. We don't get double episodes like this very often for Walking Dead, be it Fear or the original. So I think it should be great. Zazman Reviews says, hey, Trev. I think Chris will abuse Alicia mentally and physically, making him into the worst villain on the show, Ramsay style. I think he's a Game of Thrones fan, right? By the way, the status on Fear the Walking Dead wiki for his character is fully changed from main character to main antagonist. Maybe like Shane, sort of a little bit, kind of, from within the group and comes out. Yeah, I think so. Keep up the damn fine work, Trev. So thanks, Ass Man. I know you've been a supporter of the channel for a long time. And thank all the other guys, too, everybody who's been supporting the channel, asking questions and contributing. I always appreciate all you guys. Thank you guys so much for all your contributions to the channel. So could Chris take Alicia or something like that? That could be pretty nasty, man. That could be pretty dark. And, that's one thing I do like about Game of Thrones is you have villains like Ramsay that are just really, really evil. And I think in a zombie apocalypse, you would get people like Chris. You would get characters like Chris in a zombie apocalypse who, in real life, their lives weren't that great. Maybe they were picked on in school. Maybe they were bullied really badly, stuffed in lockers and stuff. Guys that are skinnier, maybe they don't eat as much, and they get picked on a lot. It happens, absolutely. But do you think that maybe after, if their life kind of sucked before and they were treated really badly and lost everybody, that they could go the wrong way in a zombie apocalypse? Absolutely. It's like the question if somebody had superpowers, would they use it for good or would they use it for evil? If someone had the Flash powers, would they go rob a bank or would they? It's like, it's tough to say. If it was for real, yeah, I think a lot of people would go that way, honestly. Another one from Zasmin. He says, I honestly started clapping once Travis shot the gun at Brandon. Yeah, I hate Brandon. That guy is such a piece of crap, I swear. I hope he attacks the hotel and fails. I think that's what's going to happen. I think they are going to fail. What do you want him to do? Attack the hotel, Trev, or befriend Travis, a.k.a. Mr. Teach? I think they are. If you look at the promo, they're being taken. So they pissed somebody off somehow. Maybe they were trying to take something or do something. I think so. And they're greatly outnumbered. Plus, they're like, late teenage years. They're like, they don't seem to be older than I'd say maybe 20, 21, 22, 23, something like that. And you have full-grown adults here that are, 30 in their late 20s or 40s, and you have lots of them. So, yeah, I don't think that Brandon and the others really are going to be able to take the entire group. They're just so outnumbered. It's kind of like Rick's group versus Negan and the Saviors, right? It's just too much. We'll do a couple more. Next one's from Andy Hernandez. He says, Trev, season finale Q&A Fear the Walking Dead. In the mix of the chaos that is about to come, do you think Nick will lose Luciana? Because I feel like it will only make sense that his character will always be meant for solitude. I like this. If not, what do you think about Nick's future going into the finale? Been a fan for a long time, and thank you. Thank you, Andy, for your support, too. That's a great comment, and I liked everybody who, thank you guys for filling me in on this, because I'm not up with biblical implications and things like that, or parallels. But the one episode was called Pillar of Salt, and apparently it's a biblical story where you have a character, somebody said, I forget, look back and somebody becomes a pillar of salt, or fades away or something like that. I butchered it like crazy. I think you guys know what I'm saying. Those who've seen the comments, you get it. So to keep it simple, possibly we could see a tie-in with the name that maybe Nick will lose Luciana and she will be killed off when Nick leaves. And I think you might be right there, Andy. That'd be cool to see, you know, him kind of be destined for solitude, losing everybody regardless, and then maybe eventually finding his family again and wanting to you know, be with his family because he's totally alone again. Tricky. So the last one will be from Jon Snow Rules. And he says, Trev, what would you do personally if your son was batshit crazy in a zombie apocalypse and told you something that was personal and made you cry and get very emotionally connected to him before he tugs it away and betrays and tricks you by getting his friends to put down your friend? What would you do in that type of situation? So kind of like the type of situation I think you're asking. If I was Travis dealing with Chris, how do you deal with, you know, something like that? That is tough, man, because you want to protect your kids, obviously, as Madison does too, and are willing to do just about anything to protect their kids. But what if one of your kids becomes a rotten apple or falls very far from the tree? That's always tough, man. I mean, I personally, I can't even really say. Maybe you can't. Maybe you can't put them down if you had to. Maybe you can't stop them if they do wrong. I mean, that's a really, really tough question. I'm sure there's lots of parents and older subscribers of the channel, you guys who maybe dealt with some of this kind of stuff, and maybe your kids have gotten in trouble legally or something. I don't know, you know, gone to prison, whatever. Who knows? Don't know. But you know, I can't even put myself in hypothetically into those shoes to understand how that would feel. You know, to be a parent like that in that situation. That would be so painful and so brutal, man. And yeah, I don't know what you do. What do you do with that? You know, they're still your kid, but maybe they're twisted or they're just not very nice people. Oh man, that's really tough for sure. So I guess what I'm saying is I humbly can't answer it because I've never been in that type of situation where I've had to feel like, you know, raise a child. I think you have to ask somebody who actually, yeah, you gotta understand that first before you can truly. I can't truly fathom it because, you know, I mean, I'm so far removed. I don't even have kids yet, so I'm so far removed from that. I can't even. Yeah, I know that there's too much of a distance for me to try to hypothetically put myself in those shoes. But you know, to some of you parents out there, if you want to write your comments below and you know, maybe write how you would feel, what you would do, how would you deal with it? Could you never ever? They're still your kid. Could you never ever do anything like that unless you know, maybe they threaten to kill somebody else or something. We'll see what kind of situation Travis gets put in. If he has to do that with Chris or if everybody survives, who knows? We'll see, man. But I'm really excited for the double finale. It should be great. And I'll see you guys back, of course, this weekend for it, as well as the videos in between. If you guys liked today's Q&A, please don't forget, guys. I always appreciate those thumbs. Thumb it up. You can also share, you can favorite, and if you're new and you want to subscribe, bottom left to subscribe, write your comments. What would you do if you were Travis? How do you deal with Chris? Who's going to die? Let's talk about everything. Vote in the poll. That's it for this video, guys. We'll see you again soon for another. As always, it's Trev. I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See you soon.